Hello, my fellow Nigerians. Happy Democracy Day. Happy June 12th today. June 12th, 2023. 30 years ago, in June 12th, 1993, Nigeria conducted the most freest and fairest election, not just in the history of Nigeria, in the history of Africa and in the history of the world. For the very first time in the history of our country, Nigerians trooped out, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their culture, irrespective of where they come from, either from the south or from the north. But they supported the candidacy of Chief MK Abiola and Babagana Kingibe. At this point in time, religion was never a problem, even when those who won this election were both Muslim tickets. In this election, tribalism was never a problem, because from both the south to the north of Nigeria, we all came together without being induced with any money, without being forced, without being bribed, without being bought. People come out and voted for Chief MK Abiola. After this election, the military junta under President Babangida annulled the election, which led to so many crises and to the death of then the man that brought about Democracy Day in Nigeria today. Nigeria at that point in time was not looking for whether a Muslim leader or a Christian leader, but just a leader who was competent, who was capable to run our country. Nigerians were happy when the election was conducted and the winner came out to be a winner that everyone accepted, not like the ones we have today. Having said this, 30 years later, how have we come? How's our democracy? How our country has thrived? The giant of Africa now become the crowning of Africa. A country that was once a country of oil boom, now turned to a country of oil doom. Electricity that was once a little bit stable in our country is now epileptic. Our education is already destroyed. Strikes today, strikes tomorrow. Security, that has always been the hallmark of our country, we now live in a nation that is no longer secure anymore. In the history of our country, kidnapping was a taboo. But now we have kidnapping all over the nation. In our country, I know that corruption has always been part of our government. But now, our elected officials now practice daylight robbery. Stealing so much from our country. Stealing so much from Nigerian people. And yet, nothing is done about it. So today is another day of democracy. And while we're celebrating the little achievement we've made, we must not, but also charge our new leaders on the need for people to actually see dividends of democracy. In the last 62 years of Nigerian independence, Nigeria have not seen a true democracy, because what we have is leaders coming in there only to loot the treasury. Nigeria is one of the richest countries in the world. But today, we are borrowing even more than we are earning. We are borrowing even more than we are spending. It is unfortunate we live in a country where we are borrowing to steal. Our pipelines are being diverted to different personal use. Our currency is zero to none in the world today. The currency that was once one of the greatest, $1 to a naira. Now, $1 to over 700 naira. So as we celebrate democracy today, it is for me to charge the present administration, the new government. There is so much work to do for Nigerian people. Nigerians have gone through so much hardship in the last 30 years. Because since the annulment of June 12, 1993, Nigeria has never remained the same up to today. And while we'll every day strive to have a government that will make our country better, it has been getting from worst to bad. And I hope that our new elected officials will do everything possible to see how we can alleviate the suffering of Nigerian people. The poverty in the land, the epileptic power supply, the brain drain to abroad, and economy that is crawling and crashing every day. We will still celebrate the little achievement we've made in the last 20 years. We have been able to have peaceful transfer of power, even if it is not the best election we have. We know that there's no perfect election around the world. And Nigeria is not an exception, to election being marred with a lot of malpractices. But in the midst of this, I want to charge the new government, the new elected leaders, that to please do so everything possible to deliver democracy to Nigerian people. Enough of bellitocracy, enough of selfish crazy, enough of greedy crazy that we are practicing in the last 30 years. We must do everything possible to bring democracy, to bring government of the people, by the people, and for the people of Nigeria. We must do everything possible to make our country governable, to make peace, to bring our country together once again. Our country is divided more than it is today than it was 30 years ago. Leaders must bring our country together again, from the north to the south. We must continue to run a country of competency, a country where religion will no longer be dividing us. The same religion that is dividing already the 10th National Assembly that's supposed, to come into play. Our country must be run by ideas, must be run by competency, and not by religion. Our country must not be run by tribalism. Our country must not be run by ethnicity, in as much as we want to have every ethnic in Nigeria have a say in the government, but we must not allow all of these things to divide and destroy our country. Our country must be a country where corruption must be nabbed. We must make sure that when people are found in the act of corruption, there must be consequences. Until we have consequences, people will continue to steal, and to steal. I charge the new government that under your watch, you must not allow corruption to go scot-free. Because if it does, then after a year, we'll return back to the old status quo of nothing is going to happen. I can go ahead and steal. I charge all Nigerians too that we must all be patriotic. Government is not just only about those who are in government, but every one of us, wherever we find ourselves, we must do everything possible to contribute our culture to our government. Government cannot succeed if the citizen itself too are sabotaging the effort of the government. We have saboteurs all over the country. We must do everything possible to stop all of this if our country must move forward as a nation. As a Nigerian, both home and abroad, we must be patriotic to see the progress of our nation. We must be patriotic to see how our country can move forward. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May God bless every one of us. I remain Faduri Oluwadari Joseph, the former presidential aspirant of the Labour Party and the leader of Nigeria Rescue Movement for New Nigeria. And I know someday we're going to have a new country where there will be light 24 hours. A new country where there will be good roads. A new country where there will be security. A new country where our education will be the best and we'll stop sending our kids abroad to study. A new country where Nigerians will start returning back home and stop going abroad. A new country where our currency and the dollar and the euro will be competing in the world market. A new country where we'll say, yes, we're back as a giant of Africa. A new country where no tribe, no ethnic will see themselves as being marginalized. That new country, I see, and someday it's going to happen. Thank you.